Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and I hope you're having a great and wonderful day. Now, this is something that infuriates me to no end, and I think this may infuriate you guys as well. There are times that come that we have to expose these schools and a lot of these things that are happening, and of course, these schools don't let parents know. These schools are doing things nefariously and against the law, and of course, the parents are not aware of it. Again, a lot of these minority groups are trying to enforce their minority viewpoints on the majority, and that's just not okay. The parents don't know anything that's been going on. They're working, trying to put food on the table, especially in this economy that you just don't know about these things. Well, now this Colorado school is getting slammed. What we have here is furious Colorado parents slam school district after teachers union tells members to get rid of evidence of students' gender transitions. Parents in Colorado school district are accusing teachers of breaking state and federal laws by allegedly asking kids about their preferred pronouns in secret surveys. Denise Crawford, a mom of 3 kids in the district, said her son was subject to one such survey this past week and is confused since laws should require the district to obtain written consent from her before asking for sensitive information. The claim stemmed from an email sent to teachers in Jefferson County this past week. My apologies. Jesus. An area along the front range of the Rockies on the western edge of Denver. The region includes cities like Lakewood and Arvada and is largely suburban. In the letter, first obtained by CBS News, officials from the country's presiding teachers union seem to suggest instructors are surveying students about their preferred pronouns and then hiding evidence afterwards. Speaking to CBS, Crawford, after finding out teachers were being told if you do a questionnaire, please make it a paper and pencil activity, and warned that any digital records may be requested under federal law, said she feels betrayed. Scroll down for video. See, we have this here, the picture, and the claims sent from an email reportedly sent to teachers in Jefferson County, in which instructors were warned that if they were surveying students about their pronouns, about the preferred pronouns, to be sure not to leave paper behind a paper trail. My apologies. Deceived, lied to, taking advantage of, she called of the emails sent by members of the Jefferson County education to all staffers before the start of the school year. I don't feel I can trust the teachers, she said. This is not political, it's just they're breaking the law. It's definitely, unfortunately, madam, this is political. It's going to get political because at this point in time, this is what schools have been doing consistently a whole bunch of times. She's trying to avoid backlash, obviously, from the woke mob of trying to go after her, which I kind of understand this. I mean, you don't want to really upset the woke mob. But at the same time, it's going to get political. If you're going to sue, it's going to be political. It's a huge problem. But parents, you need to fight back. This is the only way we can be able to change this horrible culture, this horrible plot in society, and really make things have a change. Because we have to understand that these pronouns of these teachers of these schools are doing nefarious stuff to their children. It's just obvious. The letter seemed to substantiate some of the Jefferson mom's claims, such as passages in which warned that if surveying students, teachers should be sure not to leave behind a paper trail to potentially be pursued later. It also showed how officials such as JCAA President Brooke Williams, who penned and defended the letter, were aware that state and federal law prohibits making the collection of such information mandatory. And judges were then told, if you do a questionnaire, please make it a paper and pencil activity. Any digital record are more permanent and may be requested under FERPA, explained. FERPA, or the Federal Educational Rights Privacy Act, is a federal law passed in 1974 that protects the privacy of students' education records. Under the guidance, parents have the right to inspect and review every aspect of their student and school's education records, preferred pronouns included. It goes on to say that local laws in the state of Colorado similarly bar such practices in considering students' personal information protected. After CBS aired their report about the correspondence Friday, the union issued a statement blaming the district, saying it had given contradictory directions regarding preferred pronouns. Also, penned by Williams, who has been the union's president since 2020, the statement cited under passage in the leaked letter that explicitly states, please no preferred pronoun, gender identity questionnaire, do not promise to keep information from parents. The statement did not address why teachers were directed to use paper and get rid of surveys, and accused people like Crawford of politicizing the issue. Well, that's because you are making it political. That's just the way it is. You want to have weird access to our children. That's just the way that's the way I see it, and this is a massive problem. If we're gonna be a 100 with you people, you guys are politicizing everything. You're making things to where you want to have access to our children, you want to rape our children, you want to do things horrible to our children, you also want to make them be a political pawn in your agenda. You also want to ruin their lives by making them do this horrendous surgery that there is no going back for. You people are evil, and you will be dressed as such by me, and hopefully by many other people, that you are the devil in the making. You are not good people, you are evil, and you deserve to be jailed permanently for life. It read, by allowing students an optional avenue to share their preferred pronouns while protecting student privacy, we can better ensure that students feel safe, respected, and validated. We encourage and support educators to follow JAFACO's district policy, which states, school staff shall not disclose information that may reveal a student's transgender status to others, including parents and other staff, unless legally required to do so or unless the student has authorized such disclosure. It concluded, transgender and gender non-conforming students have the right to discuss and express their gender identity expression openly and decide when, with whom, and how much to share private information. That said, parents such as Susan Miller remain unconvinced, claiming the letter shows how local leadership actually provided an avenue to get around the law, basically saying it was okay. Member of the local school board, she told the station, the district takes this very seriously and demanded a retraction. Maybe do a corrective that says, hey, we were wrong. We need to abide by the law as written. They are there for a reason. As of Tuesday, a retraction has yet to be issued. Similar instances involving kids' gender identity across the U.S. continues to rise. In 6 states, lawsuits have been filed by parents arguing that their 14th Amendment rights to direct the upbringing of their children are violated when schools do not inform them of their children's pronouns or names. It has set the stage for a battle over transgender students' rights at school already at several states, such as New Hampshire Supreme Court, while jurists in places like Massachusetts have set some precedent by ruling TP not to disclose kids' gender identities. Still, the issue remains marred in uncertainty, and many lawsuits in places like Maine are still ongoing. Exactly. And I suspect we're going to see significantly more lawsuits happening. What's happening here is a tragedy. And again, I say to you, far leftists, the people that are insane, please tell me if this surgery and their and if this surgery and everything that this surgery that you're saying is so good for them, and that telling them the proper pronouns are so good, why are you hiding it? Parents would automatically want to know what is best for their child, what the best way to help their child. Parents care about this. They love their children. So why would you hide it from them? Answer that question, and then we can answer all the other questions on why you're doing this behind your parents' back and not letting them know. Because according to you guys, it's supposed to be helpful. It's supposed to give them great benefit and make them survive and not want to commit suicide. So what is it? Does it help them or hurt them? And since now, if we can move to here, we'll go to see what this. Virginia mom sues school district claiming staff kept daughter Sage Blair Chester to mail a secret before running away. Teen was kidnapped, raped, and trafficked across state lines. I may believe we did a story about this literally not that long ago, where this actually happened. And again, this is just two of the situations that have been happening. The bullying says Blair included verbal and physical assaults, but also included a constant barrage of threats of rape by the male classmates. Despite this, the school encouraged her to use the boys' bathroom, she said. Blair previously informed the school that her daughter had a history of mental health issues, including depression, eating disorders, self-harm, and hallucinations. Even with that information, however, the school opted to pursue a social transition for Sage behind the backs of her parents. The then 14-year-old girl was allowed to change her name to Draco at school. Her parents eventually uncovered details of the situation only when they found a hall passing Draco's name. According to the Child and Parent Rights Campaign, who filed the lawsuit on behalf of Blair, the school's decision to withhold information about Sage's gender identity deprived Blair of her ability to exercise her fundamental parent rights to direct the upbringing of her daughter, including the making of educational and mental health decisions. Daddy Brawley's Blair's secrecy attorney told the Washington Examiner that Sage ran away from home because of the bullying and harassment she was facing at school. Previous reports indicate that Sage first ran away from her home the night her parents found the hall passed with the name Draco on it. The school officials were encouraging her to use the boys' bathroom, even though they knew she was threatened with sexual assault. She perceived herself that she wasn't safe, and she runs away from home, said Broyles. She runs into the arms of a waiting pedophile who encounters her, rapes her, traffics her with 2 other men, and takes her across state lines into Washington, D.C., and then ultimately into Maryland. In Maryland, Sage was eventually tracked down and rescued by FBI agents, which is where her nightmare journey should have ended. However, the Baltimore juvenile court system, which is garbage, by the way, assumed custody of the adolescent and the instruction of the innocent Khan and our area public defender. Khan had made the call that Sage's parents were not officially affirming of her new identity, and according to the suit, fabricated a story of abuse and neglect by parents that convinced a judge to keep her in custody. While in state custody, Sage was placed in juvenile facility for young men, where she was again sexually assaulted, exposed to drugs, and denied medical and mental health care, the suit claims. This is a 100-pound girl. What do you think happens in this facility, said Broyles. Maryland's top public defender, Natasha Trichik, said she and her office were backing Khan in the fight. We fully support our attorney who appropriately represented her client in accordance with her legal, ethical, and professional obligations, he said. At the male facility, and once again in fear for her safety, Sage ran away and was again picked up by a sex trafficker who brought her to Texas, where she was again raped, drugged, starved, and tortured until law enforcement in Texas rescued her and notified her mother, who returned to Virginia, the suit states. Yes, I specifically remember this disgusting, horrific story. And this is continuously happening across the country. This is a disgusting part of what the trans people are doing. I apologize for getting a little bit upset or angry, but this makes me absolutely infuriated. And I'm telling you, this is most likely happening across this country in record numbers. And you trans people, you people in particular, want to go out and say, oh, this is good, this is better for the children, right? Well, look what happens when you hide this information from people, from the parents. This is what happens to this poor child. She gets raped, sexually trafficked. You should be against that. Then why the hell are you trying to ban or remove the Sound of Freedom video? Please, or the movie rather. Please, tell me why you're doing this. You should be against sex trafficking and all this other stuff. But that's not the case. So what we're coming down here to see here is that the horrible stuff that is happening across the states and across the country is absolutely abhorrent. And it needs to be stopped. The only matter we can possibly end up stopping this is have more laws and more people going into this and looking into the actual situation in general. Remember the last time that I did stuff like this, I think a few months ago, that this was the situation that was happened. It's just now this is more coming to further light, then, so be it. So, that's where we're at. Alright guys, that's the video. Like, share. As always, take care.